I'll get started, right? So hello all. Welcome to my session on SCOM MI, GA, and beyond. And My name is Ankur Gupta. I am a product manager in the product group in SCOM, right? So as a group, as a team, we deal with the SCOM on-prem solution and of course, SCOM MI also, right? I joined 3 years ago when SCOM MI was just an idea because there were a lot of customer complaints you were hearing, right? The environment around monitoring was rapidly changing. People were moving towards the cloud. There were competitors coming in. And so SCOM MI was just a tiny little idea in someone's head when I joined, right? Ever since we've been working on it, and a lot of you might have come across me. We have talked before in the past, right? So that's a bit about me. And Today I'm going to be talking about this Azure Monitor SCOM managed instance. Previously the code name was Aquila, right? But officially we gave it the name of Azure Monitor SCOM managed instance, and the reason is that SCOM managed instance, SCOM MI, is going to be a part of the Azure Monitor suite of products. I want to make it clear that we are not a competitor to Azure Monitor. We are a small capability in the entire uh, capability set of Azure Monitor, right? And what do we do? So basically, today I'm going to run you through a video that I uh, created, right? And hopefully this will give you a good idea of the vision of the product that we have. I hope you can hear the sound. Can you hear the sound of the video?
I'm not hearing this. I certainly hear you loud and clear, Anchor. I'm not hearing the video, however.
Okay. Does that mean I think I'll have to join back the meeting then, I guess, with the sound. Oh wait, let me just okay. I think I made a mistake. Now I think you should be able to hear.
Welcome to Pineapple Corp, one of the S500 customers in the
Yep,
retail
yep,
space.
we can hear that now.
Yep. Okay, cool. So yep. So,
Pineapple has 5,000 Windows machines and 100 Linux machines in their store and use Azure services to power their corporate functions. They currently use SCOM to monitor these services in the store with 10 management servers and 10 gateways, and capabilities of Azure Monitor for the applications on Azure. Most of the store operations are using two-tier applications consisting of Oracle databases and web tiers on IaaS or Apache. For cost and operational benefits, Pineapple Corp has decided to move the majority of its workloads to the cloud. And they recently initiated an assessment of their environment for Azure migrations from the SCOM console. They found that it would be 34% cheaper if they move all their applications to Azure. They triage the applications and decide to move 80% of the applications to Azure and close their contract with Rackspace by the end of the year. They chose to adopt lift and shift approach for moving the applications to Azure and inquire about setting up observability on the migrated workloads. The remaining 20% of applications are deployed on standalone workstations and servers that are not a part of the engagement with Rackspace and are going to stay on premises. James, the IT admin for Pineapple Corp, is concerned that with the migration to Azure, they would need to redo the monitoring rules in place with SCOM and looks for recommendations. The Azure Migrate assessments recommend James to move to Azure Monitor SCOM managed instance. James finds the service on the Azure portal and starts to create a new instance. The experience guides James with the prerequisites that help him prepare the environment and presents the standard Azure experience to take the different inputs. Once all the inputs are given, The instance takes 45 minutes to deploy a SCOM instance in James's subscription. James follows the migration guidance to start monitoring applications migrated to Azure. He is able to discover and monitor migrated applications in SCOM MI with a few clicks. After achieving continuity of monitoring for migrating applications, James now looks to address the needs for the applications that are staying on premises. He finds Arc viable. James is able to discover unmonitored Arc-enabled machines and configure them with SCOM managed instance. Once configured, there is no difference in monitoring experience for Azure VMs and Arc-enabled machines. Lastly, James wants to consolidate monitoring and operations for the small set of applications that are firewall restricted and domainless. James sets up managed gateways on an existing Arc-enabled server, discovers and starts monitoring workloads which have line of sight to this gateway. James reuses the management pack configurations in place on-prem and redeploys them on Azure without any changes from the Monitored Resources section on the SCOM MI homepage. He starts seeing the alerts that used to be on SCOM in Azure Monitor. He can see the alert details, the context, the state, the owner, and other things which helps him to act on them. As more workloads get migrated, James adds them to SCOM managed instance. After a limit, he notices a warning suggesting the SCOM MI instance needs to scale out. In the on-premises deployment of SCOM, this was a major step for James that included provisioning new management servers and configuring the agents to use it. With SCOM Manage instance, this is made a one-click experience. The affinity of agents to management servers is automatically handled by the service. James does not need to update any of the agent configurations. Now that James has discovered and is monitoring applications, he needs to see the live performance and metric dashboards to know the health and availability of the applications in real time. With a few clicks, James is able to view and analyze operational dashboards and metric reports on an existing Azure managed Grafana instance. Pineapple Corp is also using advanced analytics to identify opportunities for further fine-tuning the application architectures and monitoring rules. James wants to extend this to include the migrated applications. He needs the monitored metrics, events, and alerts information for these applications to be available in a log analytics workspace. James connects the MI instance with an LA workspace to achieve data periodically and hence make it accessible to further analytics. By doing so, James's team is able to configure reporting dashboards on Azure workbooks that can give a glimpse of the long-term state of the environment. While Pineapple Corp is executing the migration plan by gradually increasing the applications on Azure and monitored with SCOM MI, Microsoft releases updates to SCOM. Typically, this is a major event for James, and he previously used to meticulously plan the upgrade for the SCOM deployment and the agents. With SCOM MI, he is happy to learn that this is a non-event. Microsoft ensures that all the agents are always kept up to date and automatically updates the MI instance in the time window provided by James. This means James does not have to have an administrator who knows about SCOM and its upkeep. The Azure administrator who manages the rest of Azure Monitor capabilities can extend to maintaining the MI instance as well. Overall, with the capabilities of workload health monitoring using the management packs, with minimal need for operational upkeep of the infrastructure, and reduce training costs courtesy a single pane of the glass experience with Azure Monitor. Pineapple Corp is able to execute the migrations better and maximize the benefits to the cloud.
Great. So, I again just a disclaimer that the video, everything that you see in the video is not going to be available by GA, right? Thus, the name of the session is GA and beyond. I would say about 70 to 80% of the capabilities will be available by GA, and then the rest of them will be coming soon after GA, right? Maybe in a month or so. And but the idea is that you will get an overall vision of what we are planning with the product, right? Of course, once we have this set of capabilities, we will keep adding more capabilities. Like we have heard a lot of customer asks regarding some specific AI related capabilities, and so that will come in the future. But this is the immediate plan that we have for the product, right?
Welcome to Pineapple
Uh,
Corp.
yep. So here I want to be talking a bit about the value propositions of what we are providing to customers, right? Why would anyone choose SCOM MI over competitors or even SCOM on-prem, right? And so the key values that we have heard and that we have been highlighting for the last few years is a lot of customers have come and told us, see, we want to simplify the SCOM infrastructure management, right? Today, we spend a lot of time and there are a lot of resources that we have who are managing SCOM infrastructure. This diverts us from the main motive of using SCOM, which is workload monitoring, right? And we don't want to be doing all the patching, waiting for URs, that's very old school. And so what they told us, give us a way where we don't have to manage all that infrastructure, right? Basically a PaaS or a SaaS way of SCOM, right? Where the OS, the SCOM updates are taken care of, the health monitoring is taken care of, right? So that was one of the key value propositions that we have been hearing and we have highlighted over the past few years, right? The second value proposition that customers got back to us with is key. We have made a lot of investments in SCOM over the past 10, 15 years. When I say investments, it is in terms of time, it is in terms of money, in terms of effort, in terms of building that knowledge, right? Because SCOM is a difficult product to get a hang of, right? You might take few months, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe even a year to get to know the intricacies of the product. Now, if we are expected to move to a different product, right, there is that 6 month or 1 year time, the investment I have to do in terms of time, effort, and money to learn about the new product and learn the mental models of the new product. And so we said the key value proposition with SCOM MI is going to be that we are going to be preserving the existing SCOM investments, whether that's the uh, configurations, whether that's the MP environment, whether that's the mental model of how you manage and monitor your infrastructure and workloads with SCOM, right? So that's a very key, important part of the product. And the third aspect is that a lot of customers are moving their workloads to the cloud, right? They are having hybrid setups where some of the workloads are on-prem, some of the workloads are in Azure, right? And so then what we heard when we talked to these customers is that we need a consolidated monitoring experience that is obviously hosted in Azure, right? So that it becomes easy to access. We don't want to be playing around with two products, right? One for monitoring Azure-based workloads, one for monitoring on-prem workloads. We want one product in the cloud, which allows us to monitor all our workloads wherever they're located, right? Even if it's on the edge. And so that's the third key point, key value proposition that we have been going ahead with, right? Whenever we talk about SCOM MI, right? And and so of course, another key value proposition is in terms of cost savings, right? So again, take these numbers. So this is a very generic slide that I have just to give you an idea, right? Some of these numbers might change, but because we have been hearing a lot of demand for over the last few months that, give us some idea of how it's going to cost, right? What is the pricing model? What are we going to bear in terms of costing? right? So here I want to give you that idea, right? Now, when I say save up to 30% of your SCOM costs while migrating to SCOM MI, of course, there are assumptions built into this because the SCOM pricing, even though there is a license-based model for System Center, it is very non-standard because every customer is talking to a separate customer account manager who is handling the account, right? So we have sort of just taken a very generic average here in terms of the typical environment of customers, what they have and what they can end up saving with SCOM MI over a period of 3 years when they're migrating their infrastructure, right? So here the key part I want to highlight is that for SCOM, right? Uh, Today the compute is managed by the customer. The licenses is something that you buy from Microsoft, right? And of course, you have maybe a team SCOM team size of 3 to 4 admins who are managing SCOM. SCOM MI, the charges are going to be pay as you go, right? Just like any other cloud service in Azure that you use today, whether it's VM, whether it's AKS, whether it's any Azure based service, there are going to be certain compute resources that are going to be a part of SCOM MI, such as VMs, SQL MI, managed identities, right? VMSS clusters. So the amount of resources you use, you will be charged for that, right? Based on the Azure typical Azure pricing standard. Now, the second charge that comes in is the per endpoint charge, right? So if you decide to monitor a certain number of endpoints with SCOM MI, right? So the charge will be $6 per endpoint 1 month per month, right? So that's the second, and that will account for the SCOM IP per se that we are charging licenses for today, right? So these are the two components of the charges. Apart from that, there are really no other charges that are needed, right? And a key saving that we like to highlight is in terms of labor cost, right? Because SCOM MI is a cloud-based or a PaaS product, right? You will not need 3 to 4 admins to manage the environment, right? Probably one admin, max to max 2 admins would be good enough to manage it, right? So this will give you a good idea of what the SCOM MI pricing looks like, right? Now let me walk you through some certain customer scenarios of when would be the ideal time to use SCOM MI and when in certain scenarios it might be better to use maybe some other suite in Azure Monitor, right? So if you are today using SCOM to monitor your workloads and you have SCOM MPs installed in your system where you are monitoring your workloads with, using SCOM MI is a no-brainer for you if you want to modernize your management and reduce admin costs, or if you're looking to migrate on-prem workloads to Azure and to have a hybrid environment. What I mean to say is key if there are situations where you say we are not going to have internet connectivity for the near future, because we are located in a mine or on a ship which is not on land, and so internet is a challenge for us. Using SCOM MI might not make sense because you will need some sort of an internet connectivity, right? So maybe SCOM on-prem would be the ideal choice there. However, if there is a situation where your company decides you will be migrating some of your workloads to Azure, you will be having a hybrid environment in the next 1 or 2 years, right? With some workloads on-prem and some in Azure. And you are ideally looking to reduce your management costs and your admin costs, then using SCOM MI would actually be a good proposition for you, right? Because we will achieve all those goals that you're targeting. And of course, when would Azure Monitor be an ideal situation product to use instead of SCOM MI? Is if you are not using SCOM today, right? Of course, there are, we'd love to have greenfield customers also who have never used SCOM before, right? And who sign up for SCOM MI. Right, that would be like the golden situation for us. But in case what I mean, our experience over the past 3 or 4 years has been that most of the people we talk to are already current SCOM users who know how to monitor using SCOM, their workloads using SCOM. So that's why if you are not using SCOM today, you might find Azure Monitor a bit more suited for your needs, right? And if you're looking to modernize your workloads to SaaS applications in Azure, so whether that's AKS, whether that's some sort of application insights or anything, then maybe Azure Monitor uh, would be an ideal fit for that. Cool. So that is SCOM MI today, right? Now let's talk about the future, right? So we are in public preview today. We in fact launched public preview start of this year around December and January first week, right? And we have seen some healthy uptake with about 50 plus. I would say I think the latest number was 55 to 60 customers have actually tried SCOM MI public preview. Uh, at least they've tried deploying it, and I think more than 40 customers have managed to deploy an instance. Of course, some just wanted the experience, and so they deployed it. They tested it for a few weeks, and then they deleted their instance, right? Others continue testing it. We, in fact, have two customers who are already monitoring prod servers with SCOM MI, right? For a cumulative of about 700 to 800 servers that are already being monitored with SCOM MI public preview. They thought that even the public preview version is good enough for the needs. And so that is where we are today, right? We do have GA coming up in the next, I'd peg it as a month from now, right? Because Ignite is coming in about 3 weeks, and so we will be announcing GA around that timeline, right? And and what when I say GA, right? What is going to be included in the GA feature set? So the video that I showed will, give you a good idea. But specifically for GA, this is what we are planning to include, right, in the near future. In terms of patching, of course, auto OS auto patching is a no-brainer. We are going to have it, so you never have to take care of patching your SCOM machines. Now, when we are talking about SCOM patching, uh, at this stage in public preview, the patching happens at the click of a button, right? So as you saw in the video, there was a button that said, an update is available. Please update now if you want to, right? And so that is the same experience is going to continue for GA. Of course, we are trying our best to get a customer defined schedule in terms of patching, but we'll probably find out if that's if we can roll that out or not. But definitely patching at the click of a button is given, and it's going to be there as part of GA. Right. Now we are talking about agent onboarding and agent management. So we are going to be doing that through VM extensions, right? Whether that's the onboarding or the management, the upgrading and the management part of the agents. The flow is going to be the same flow that is there in SCOM on-prem today. So that is, again, that will help maintain the mental models of uh, how people today monitor using SCOM. They can use the same knowledge to monitor in SCOM MI. When we're talking about availability, reliability, disaster recovery, fault tolerance, there is going to be high availability given that we are using VMSS. So inbuilt there is a availability SLA of 99.95%. And so that and just like any other Azure service, disaster, in fact, zone redundancy is also a requirement that we have to uptake while we go GA or soon after GA, right? So definitely availability and disaster recovery are key items for us. Now we're talking about optimization and scaling. So as you saw in the video, scaling will be done by the click of a button. All you have to do is put in the number of servers that you want. You click scale up or scale down, and accordingly, those number of servers will be created, right? In terms of management packs, all the management packs that are today supported in SCOM will be supported in SCOM MI. We are in the midst of testing all of them, so I don't see that as uh, uh, a blocker, right? In fact, any you can expect that all management packs you're using today should be supported by SCOM MI. Right? Gateways are going to be supported, right? You can monitor off Azure endpoints via managed identity for Azure endpoints, right? The management of gateways is also going to be through via VM extensions, similar to what it is for agents, right? Arc monitoring is supported. Arc agents, if you have Arc servers, Arc connected VMs, those can be also be monitored using SCOM MI, right? Unlike in SCOM on-prem today. Uh, we are we are allowing integration with log analytics workspace. So if you have an existing workspace in LA, then you can integrate it with SCOM MI. You can run your queries there. You can, view your data and maintain a central data plane. For alerting, we have integrated with Azure Monitor alerts. So all the alerts that are generated in your SCOM on-prem today will be sent to Azure Monitor, so you can see them in the Azure Monitor portal. And because Azure Monitor has a capability of integrating with ITSM tools, sending notifications, emails, text messages, you can do all those capabilities, and you can get alerts, you can get notifications for alerts, and even create incidents in your ITSM tool of choice, right? Like we have implemented it with ServiceNow and it was working perfectly, right? And in terms of dashboarding, right? So we are working hard on uh, we have Power BI based reporting already. In terms of workbooks and Grafana, we are working hard to implement it in time of for GA, but we might again it's dependent on quite a few factors. We might slip by a week or two, but our goal is to have dashboarding via Azure managed Grafana and Azure workbooks also. Right. So that would be the future of SCOM MI, right? Here, I just want to, since we have a little bit of time, I'll quickly just run through some of the features that I talked about, right, and how they look like in the experience today. Uh, so first of all, I just want to highlight again that we are going to be under the Azure Monitor umbrella of products. We are not a separate product at all. And so if today, if you have workloads that are on-prem and you want to monitor that you're already using to monitor SCOM, you're using SCOM to monitor those workloads, and maybe SCOM MI as your monitor SCOM MI would be the right fit for you to monitor those workloads, right? And so let me now, what I'll do is I'll log into an actual instance and show you around the instance and how it looks like today, right? Just give me 1 minute while I open an instance. I'll share my screen. Right, I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, we can see it, Ankur.
Okay, so this is an actual SCOM MI instance, right? I haven't shown the provisioning part of it because it's a bit time consuming, right? It takes about 40 minutes to create an instance, but provisioning is pretty simple. You can go to the home page, right? Overview page, you can create an instance, right? We have tried to come up with a lot of intricate steps as to how to make provisioning easy, right? I mean, easier than what it used to be, right? So we have given you a script which will allow you to input your parameters and test it. And then, of course, you input the parameters, and we've tried to give you all sorts of guidance, right? So that's the part of provisioning. Once you put in all the parameters, you meet all the prerequisites, it takes about 40 to 45 minutes to create an instance, right? Once you create an instance, this is what the instance today looks like. You have a central screen, which gives you all the details of the resources that you either put in while you're provisioning, or that would created as part of this SCOM MI instance. So the GMS account is something that you put in when you create, right? The load balancer is something that will be created, but the front end IP is something that you have to again give when you're creating an instance, right? The DNS name, the database names is something that get created. So here you'll see a summary of your resources that get created when you create a SCOM MI instance, right? Uh, You go to infrastructure, you'll see the details of the the VMSS cluster that gets created, right? With the location, the number of management servers that are there, right? Here, when you click on monitoring, you'll see some of the key metrics that are provided by the VMSS. So you'll see things like, the CPU utilization, the available memory, and you can of course change it to different time scales, right? 7 days, 30 days, whatever you want it to be. Right. So that is one. Then we talk about log analytics workspace. Right here, this is where if you have an existing workspace, you can click on this. You can of course link your log analytics workspace, right? If I test, I don't want to create something right now, but if you just select all these, right, depending on the type of data that you want to see coming in, and you can enable historic data. And if you integrate it, you'll see your integration with log analytics appearing here. So you can run queries. You can, if you want to forward your data somewhere, you can do that. Scaling is very simple. Scaling is here you see the current number of management servers, which is one. Now here we're going to ask you how many endpoints you intend to monitor, right? If let's say you say 10,000. So we are going to recommend 10 servers because our assumption is that 1,000 servers for one management server is ideal, but you are free to change it, right? You can say 20 or you can say, 2, right? We'll display a warning, but it's totally up to you of what you want to, how many you want to create. That's scale up. Scale down is a similar process. Let's say you have 10,000 servers. You say, I want to monitor only 500. Yeah, so we will recommend one. And once you click save, then accordingly, those many servers will be either created or removed. Right? Patching is similarly very simple. What we have today in public preview and what we'll have in GA, right? If there is an update, there will be something that says, you are not on the latest version. There is an update available, so please update your instance. And you can see the release notes, you can see the version number. And if you click on update instance, then the latest update will be installed. It might take about 30-35 minutes depending on the patch size. But that's pretty much the experience, right? You don't have to do anything beyond that. Right. Power BI based integrating is there. There are some pre-built templates that are already part of the Power BI configurations, right? Because I've linked the databases already. So if I, go to view dashboard, I'll be able to see some of the pre-built dashboards that are already some templates that are already part of my instance, right? While this is loading, right, I'll go to resource health. So resource health, this is a generic view, very basic view. Of course, you want to build in the entire health monitoring into SCOM MI, right? But as a starting step, we have started with just monitoring the Azure resource, right? So here I see there is an error here, but the idea is that if there is a problem with your Azure resource, you will see the information here and you can either fix it or you can, yeah, of course, you can try to diagnose and solve the problem, or you can add an alert. So if the health gets resolved, you get to know. And if it continues to stay unhealthy, also you get to know, right? So that is it. I will show you. Let me see if the Power BI has opened. Yeah. So see here, you can see, just some of the pre-built dashboards that are there, right? You can build your own dashboards, goes without saying. And so this will give you an idea of the capabilities that we are offering, right? Now, finally, I just want to tell you about the alerts part of it, right? So if you go to Azure Monitor, we'll go to alerts. And if I add a filter of the signal, the monitoring service, right? Let's say I decide to have SCOM managed instance as a monitoring service. And I will change this to the past 30 days. Right. So here you can see all the alerts that have been generated by certain, in one of the SCOM MI instances that we created, and they were all sent to the Azure Monitor portal, right? I'll try to see if I can see. Yeah, like let's say if I open this alert, right? You'll see that this was fired. I mean, the severity when it was fired, the typical things that you see, as your monitor alert, right? The condition, the user response, monitor alert, and everything, all these details you'll see. Now, ideally, you can forward this to a ServiceNow instance also. So if I try to search it here, right? Demo S alert as we see. Yeah, this is a bit slow, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to. Yeah, it's taking time. Um, if it doesn't open, I'll show you another alert that has been generated by SCOM MI, and we can see that. But the idea is that your alerts that you're generating in SCOM today will be sent to SCOM Azure Monitor, and if you decide to integrate it with ITSM, you can do that also. Right. So that's pretty much it from my side. Right. If there is any question, comments, I think we have 5 to 10 minutes. We can take those.
Okay, that's great, Anchor. Yeah, I do see some questions that have come in, and I do see that Bob has taken a look at some of them. Anchor, are you able to see the Q&A window on the Teams event? And you'll see some of
Yeah.
the outstanding questions that have come in.
Cool. Yeah. So luckily, the service now you can see the alert, right? Before that, I'll just show you that if I click on the incident that we created. So this is exactly the alert that. Wait, I'm not able to remove this. Yeah, so this is exactly this alert that we saw here, demo alert SVC, right? This is the incident we create in service now. Cool. Yeah, just wanted to highlight that. So let me see some of the questions. Okay, I see a lot of questions. Uh, Let me see if I scroll right up to the top. Okay. I Video. Speaking of updates, are there any new UR planned for on-premise COM 2022? Yes, UR2 is coming. Uh, I think UR2 is scheduled to be released in a month or so. That was one of the questions I see. Grafana integration will be available for SCOM on-prem, not right now, right? Yeah, okay, I see someone has already answered that. So if I have a 20-80% Azure on-prem server distributed, assume I wouldn't want to run SCOM MI. Yeah, see, again, yeah, okay, I see it's already been answered by Bob also. Maybe I missed it, but is it $6 an all in per managed instance or no extra data usage? I think. Uh, Yeah, resources are still charged. That's correct. Right. SQLMI will be charged. SCOM managed instance, NAT gateways, all of them will be charged. $6 is the additional fees apart from the resources. Cool. Auto patching. So where is change management addressed? Auto deploying. That is going to be done via VM extensions. I'm not sure what you mean by change management. Uh, we are talking, so this is not auto patching per se, right? What we are saying is auto OS patching, and SCOM patches are via the click of a button. And very soon we are trying to get to the point where we have defined customer schedule. So if some customer says we want patches only when it's, Sunday 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., right? So we will carry out patching exercises only during that time period. Right now, the customer has to manually go and click a button that, okay, I see a patch, let me go and click. So that is the experience today. I am not sure what you mean by change management and auto deployment of agent updates. So we are working on agent updates via VM extensions, right? So that is something, a capability we are looking to launch in GA. Will you be able to place gateways on-prem proxies for domains without internet access? Example, we have domains. Okay, Bob has already answered that. What about availability of SCOM during patching time? It will be available. Yes, that's been answered. Downtime during no downtime. Okay. ServiceNow has native connector to SCOM. The integration showed now. Is it feature of ServiceNow or of SCOM MI? So the integration that I showed was a capability of Azure Monitor ITSM connector. That I believe that Root has also managed. He was talking about who's also in this chat group, right? He's also talking about another connector. So there might be other connectors that are out there. The integration that I did was with the Azure Monitor ITSM connector. My customer has 7 management groups, so they need 7 SCOM MIs, or can they migrate multiple management groups? Yes, yeah, exactly. I think Bob has answered that already. Is the integration still by some? Oh my God. Yeah, I think this is a similar question, right? Is the integration still via ServiceNow, MID server, or alert to incident creation? I've created an incident. I am not sure what you mean by MID server. Uh, but yeah, what we are doing is we have an alert. I've defined a rule in Azure Monitor that as soon as there is a SCOM managed instance alert, you create an incident and send it to ServiceNow. Right, so that is what the connector is doing. I think those were the questions.
Okay, Anchor, that's great, Bob, and our team will continue to look at any questions that come in, and perhaps you could just take a look at that Q&A for a couple minutes before you break off the call.
Okay.
But thank you so very much for your session. Really exciting to see some of those integrations of SCOM MI with Azure, and great to see the feature set and the availability. It sounds like it's right around the corner, which is exciting, and I know a lot of people are asking about that.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, good.
Cool. I'll stay here for a bit. I'll answer the questions, and then of course you can continue with your sessions.
Okay, that's great. Once again, Anchor, thank you so much for that session on SCOM MI. Again, a lot of excitement, a lot of interest, and looking forward to continuing to work with the product. We've had an opportunity to work with it pretty extensively, and one of the great things from a partner perspective, from an ISV perspective, is that SCOM MI just works. So within our tools, within the tools likely of other vendors as well, it's a very simple extension to be able to work with that SCOM MI instance, just the same way that we work with an on-prem SCOM installation. So